Welcome to Midlife Unlimited, the podcast for women who want more. Now, I've got a double first today to celebrate with you because not only am I joined by my first ever audio guest, the wonderful Philippa Taylor of Feel Fab Naturally, pro-age promoter and woman extraordinaire, she was also my first ever live guest. Now, when we went live, I almost called you Victoria then. I've been watching too many historical programs. That's what it is. When we did our first ever live, the old gremlins crept in, didn't they? So I've got everything crossed today that they are going to keep their little pesky ways out of our chat because we're here to celebrate International Women's Day this weekend, celebrate each other, celebrate us in all our fabulousness, because much as I enjoy a day, I'm all about doing things every day. So, Philippa, it's wonderful to have you here. How the devil are you?
I'm feeling fabulous. Thank you so much. And I'm delighted to have so many firsts attached to my name. That really appeals to me. And happy International Women's Day.
I like that. I like that. And so this is really like third time we chatted loads. And listeners, viewers, you're in for a treat. If you want to check out our audio episode, it's available wherever you get your podcast and on the website. Now, obviously, you were the very first guest episode on the 5th of December back in 2024. Oh my goodness, where Midlife Unlimited was born. And obviously, because it was the run up to Christmas, we were talking about how to have a perfectly imperfect Christmas. But the insights and tips that we shared are relevant all year round, aren't they? So we're going to relive some of those and basically just talk about the things that we can do, because midlife, people talk about slowing down, but if anything, it's a time for ramping up, isn't it? But ditching the things. I mean, I have my quitter's revolution more. Quitting in a positive way, those things that no longer serve us.
Yeah, it's so important. I mean, we have got to that stage where so much lived experience, we've got wisdom we didn't even know. We've forgotten more than most people know when they're in their 20s type of thing. And it's like, is this serving me? Am I doing it to myself? What are my daily choices giving me? And also, what are my daily choices taking away from me without me even realizing? And that's a real tough one. It's like, oh, I'm doing that to myself, am I? Yeah, okay, let's make a habit change there.
Yeah. And I think it's a real awakening time as well, this good old midlife, because we can suddenly realize, maybe with a bit of help by talking to people like yourself or me, that we've actually been making excuses for these things that we've been doing. And actually, when we actually stop and think about it, and when do you actually do that, you realize that you're living by the old shoulds, or you're doing these things that you actually don't need to be doing because of that desperate need to feel useful, to feel wanted, because you've always done it and you've never actually stopped to think, perhaps I could be delegating this role to something, someone else. Now, obviously at Christmas, that was a very valid point, but it works all year round, doesn't it? Do we really need to be doing these things? Why are we doing them?
Yeah, and I think it's the attitude and that mistaken belief behind a lot of those actions. It's like, I'm trying to be Superwoman, but I don't actually need to be Superwoman. I just need to be me, and I need to be me on a good day every day. Does this fill my cup? Yes, keep doing it. Does this drain my cup? Yes, don't do it, because we don't have to be everything to everyone. And actually, I saw something this week, and it said, when you get to your sort of Gen X 50s or Boomer 60s like me, you realize that actually no one was really looking at you or caring about you or judging you. And you were doing that to yourself a lot. So it's like, try on who you are, remembering who you are and just being loud and proud about it. And if people don't want to, engage with that, then they're not your people. I think you've got to be as brutal as that. It's, you want people that nurture you and fill your soul and get you, and you can have conversations with, like we have so many conversations. And the people that are just don't gel, you get that feeling about them, then bless and release, move on.
No, it is so true. It is so true, because for any viewers that haven't actually listened, and why not, to the full-length audio episodes, at the end of each episode, I ask each of my guests the same 3 questions. One of which is, what is your midlife mantra? And mine has long been, throughout my own midlife metamorphosis, way before Mel Robbins, etc., was, and you've just literally, it's just sprung back to mind. Let the judges judge. Let them get on with it. But as you say, most of it is my perception and my fear of being judged rather than the actual reality of anyone judging me. Because to be quite frank, I'm not that interesting. Why anyone would want to waste any of their precious time bothered by me, unless I'm actually doing something to, to disrupt them, which I probably wouldn't be, but we'll find out. But no, they're not that interested in what I'm doing. They're probably not judging me. And if they are, in my opinion, giving me a short, I can never say short shrift, or the chances are it's because something's happened in their life, and that's where their mind is. Because we can so easily, when we are feeling lack of self-worth and we are doubting ourselves, we can so easily feel, oh my goodness, I've done something to upset so and so, or so and so doesn't like me, so and so is judging me. No, so and so is getting on with their own life, and they've probably having a bit of a bad time. And that's what's driving their reactions, isn't it? And it's so easy to forget that, isn't it?
Oh, so easy. And I think we can't control what's going on, but we can control how we react. And that's something that comes with being a bit more of a vintage age, is that you can take a breath and go, oh, isn't that interesting? And then you can consider the other person's view rather than that defensive or self-destructive reaction. It's like, oh, it's me. Okay, I'm terrible. I'm an awful person. I've done this wrong and I can't do that. No, 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 no. You are being you. You ask questions. You have compassion. Don't get me wrong. I'm no saint. I mean, sometimes people pee me off and I will react, but generally it is taking into account that other person has got the same shiz going on in their life that we all have, and you just have to take that breath and go, okay, that's
No,
interesting.
that's so interesting, because I've just had a massive flashback to one of the things I used to do, and I love helping women and men as well with it. I used to start apologizing. I used to start thinking, well, it's obviously something I've done. And even if it isn't something that I've done, I'm going to apologize and iron out this, ease the atmosphere, put everything right. If I say it's all my fault, whatever it was, if I apologize, then I'll wave some magic wand and everything will be all right. I think, well, what am I apologizing for? A, I didn't do anything. B, if I did, I'm probably catastrophizing that what I did is a gazillion times worse than the actual reality. And it's like when someone asks you to do something, it's a similar thing, isn't it? When you really want to say no, and I did this as well. Dear listeners, I did it all. I did it all. I am the quitter. I am the positive quitter. I don't do it anymore. I can show you how. That's another story. But anyway, when you don't want to do something and you say, oh no, actually, and then you find yourself apologizing and, well, I'm really sorry I can't do it. And before you know it, whether they're an expert manipulator or not, the person you're speaking to, it's turned round and you've actually gone, oh, okay, then I will do it. I mean, how often do we, well, yeah, isn't it?
It's madness, and it's having that belief in yourself and saying, oh, that's I'd love to, but I can't right now because, or, oh, that sounds really interesting, but it's not for me. I mean, I had to say that to somebody this morning. It was like, yeah, thank you, that's really interesting, just not for me. I can't even remember what it was, but like, for example, they were offering me coffee and I wanted a glass of champagne. It's chalk and cheese. I'm never going to want that cup of coffee then. Tomorrow I might want a cup of coffee, but today, no. And I think it's working out what are your triggers and what are your patterns, and that's a lifelong journey. I mean, I don't like journey, that sounds a bit woo-woo, but it is that thing. I mean, I find myself procrastinating or perfectionism. Those are my 2 P's that get me. It's like, oh no, I'll just tidy that and make it perfect, and then I'll get round to it, by which time the moment has passed.
Yeah.
The moment has passed. So infuriating. But because I recognise that's a pattern, I can catch myself and go, just do one thing. I'm all about simple, effective, proven. Do one thing. And if the world doesn't end, you can do it again. And if you win, happy days. And if it's a learning, happy days.
No, that is so, so true, because I am now crown on, slightly wonky obviously, but I am the queen of taking that perfectly imperfect action, because I overthought everything. I wasn't ready, and not just overthinking, I was like, yes, but this could happen and that could happen, and what ifs, oh my goodness, what ifs. And what if a zebra runs across the road in front of the car, and da, da, da. But now I'm very much about coaching that whole idea of positive and constructive catastrophizing, because it can be useful. It can be useful. And we're talking about identifying triggers, and obviously those difficult conversations. I mean, we were talking about Christmas, and there are situations where you have to be with people that rub you up the wrong way. But this can happen all the time, in business and in personal life. Often you're invited to a dinner party, there's going to be someone there, you're like, "Ugh." But there are ways round it. And positive catastrophizing can be really helpful. What is it that the conversation might evolve down a certain way? Prepare yourself for that. Envisage how you'll react if they do this. And if the worst comes to the worst, politely stand up, go outside for a minute, go to the loo and count to 100. It's all right to do that, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. I was in a scenario, not a dinner party, at the weekend, and I just raised my opinion on something. It was all about being fair. I'm really into being fair where you can. And the other person was so defensive. So I sort of stated my case, and the other person came back, and I thought, well, we're either going to have a blazing row, which is not appropriate, or I'm just going to go and have a comfort break and breathe and move on. And that was such a learning, that I wanted to state my opinion and I wanted to be heard, but I wasn't being heard. And I thought, well, there's no point trying to push water uphill. I will just move on that side. But I like that catastrophizing. It's like not thinking about what's the worst thing that could happen, but what's the best things that could happen.
Yeah.
What if this is a huge success? Am I frightened of the success? Because lots of people are as frightened of success as they are of failure.
No, absolutely. Because again, it goes back to the what will so and so think if this works? What will so and so think if this goes well? And I've said it before, but I will say it again. And I can't remember where I heard this before. I think it was from Stephen Bartlett, who might have got it from someone else. But it's the whole thing with choices. And we treat 99% of decisions like a door that will slam shut behind us once we've gone through it. But that's a load of old whatever. The majority of decisions we make, we can, if it's not right, especially now, we're older and bolder, we're wiser, we're kinder, we're more fabulous. We can actually say, look, Kate, look, Philippa, just say it to yourself. This isn't for me. And it's perfectly all right for me to say to myself, because that's all really that matters, I ain't going to do this anymore. I've not right. I've tried it. Don't like it. I don't like it. I don't want to do it. It doesn't serve me. Not, I'm going to carry on doing this because if I don't, so and so will think, oh, she's a quitter. Quit it. Quit it in a positive, proactive, passionate way.
Yeah, absolutely. Think of everything as a win or a learning. If you win, you can just move forward and do more, tweak it, test it. If you fail, tweak it, test it, do it again, or bin it. You've got to not get it right. I wasn't going to say fail then, but you've got to not get something perfect in order to grow and to learn and to move forward. Everything changes. If you're standing still and trying to do the same thing over and over and over and over and over again, or not changing your habits, or not looking after yourself, or not getting out there, nothing will change. You will go backwards. Whereas this point in life, it's a springboard. There is so much left of our lives, and there's so much wisdom that we've got, and just getting out there and state your case. It's not carved in stone. You can change. I wasn't a pro-aging promoter 2 years ago. I just created that as a way of actually encapsulating what I do. But talking about things in different ways, you're like trying on different outfits. Yeah, that's lovely. And then another one comes along. Okay, I can tweak that, and then I feel better in that one. it's just making sure you're being authentically you. That's the
No.
key.
Oh, love that. Because I keep seeing the phrase, I don't know, it's like the red car, isn't it? I keep seeing the phrase Goldilocks, and I think it does apply because we're all about trying, like you say, trying different hats, trying different roles, trying different strengths of things, and it's finding what fits right to you. Now, you mentioned the word failure as well just now, and my take on that, I talk about it a lot, but I'm sorry, I'm going to bore viewers because failure, to my mind, all it means is what you expected to happen didn't happen. Either
Yeah.
you didn't do enough or you did, a decision you made, but it doesn't mean it's I mean, okay, there might be a minuscule percentage where it's completely irreversible, but it is literally a learning experience. And you mentioned one of my other favorite words as well, more. Now, obviously, I mentioned my coaching program, but earlier, was it last month? Where are we? March. Gosh, back at the beginning of the year, everyone was like, "Oh, my word of the year is." But in typical Kate style, I had two because more, yes, but less because you have to do less of what doesn't serve you. You have to quit and do a bit less of what you don't like doing, what is wasting your valuable time, so that you can do and get more. So it's a bit of a little cheat, but that was my take on words of the year, and I'm still going with it. I haven't forgotten, but it's true, isn't it? You need balance to get what's right.
Absolutely. And again, it's coming back to that choices. It's having the freedom, giving yourself that permission, the freedom to do what you like doing. It's a bit like, if you're thinking about a career pivot, you write down all the things that you can do. And, by 50, 60, there's a big long list of stuff you can do. And you go through and you go, I'd rather eat my arm than do that again. Oh my God, that really lights me up, and everything in between. And then you think about, okay, what can I do that fills my cup the most with that? And you do more of that, and the rest just fades away.
Mm.
It's a
What
choice.
did I hear the other day? Everyone's going to die with a to-do list or a to-do list, as I call it. So we're never gonna when it's but that's the whole thing. If we suddenly stopped and said, right, I've done everything I want to do, that's when you think you just start fading and settling and sitting there going, now what? No,
Yeah,
I want to die with a big long list of things that to do. Ta-da.
absolutely. And it's that whole giving yourself permission and then working out what needs to happen for that to happen. It's my birthday coming up, and my husband said, "What do you like?" And he went, I said, "I'd like a surfing lesson." And he nearly fell off
Oh
his
yeah.
chair. And he's like, "We live in the middle of the country. There is no sea." I said, "I know that, but I've been a couple of times and I like it, and I haven't got very far with it because I've only done it twice. So I want to try it again and actually feel that I can stand up and do it. And then, I don't have visions of me sort of tubing in Hawaii. Well, I do, but, that's not quite yet. First of all, I want to stand up consistently. But if I don't try, I'll never know. That's the thing. And I want to take it in small bites.
Mm.
I'm not going to go move to Cornwall or the south of France, much as that would be lovely to do it, or west of France. But I just want to fill my life with things that bring me joy.
No. Oh, I can see it in your face, viewers. Can't you just see that in her face? And what I love is the way she did it. And that's what we talk about. It is the little, yes, people come up with these goals, and goals are fabulous. But sometimes the goal we set can be so massive, it almost puts us off even starting. We think, oh my goodness, no, I can't. I mean, again, the excuses slip in, or we start slipping. We make a plan and we slightly go off kilter and we miss a day doing whatever it is, and then we beat ourselves up, and then we go, right, I'm giving up. No, it wasn't meant to be, it's not for me. But if we break it down, like you said, into small little steps, small little bites, and give ourselves a big pat on, no one else has to, because we don't care about what other people think, we're doing this for us, give ourselves that little pat on the back for doing it, for doing each little step. Have a little celebration. You don't have to wait until the big, massive goal has been achieved. By doing, as you say, by doing a little incremental thing, that's in itself worth celebrating.
Yeah, absolutely. And for me, doing small things every day means that I'm going to stick to them. like a New Year's resolution, it's gone in days. It's too big a change, too big a chunk, never going to happen, game over. But if you drink a little bit more water, move your body a little bit more, relax a bit more, engage with people a bit more, look after your health span a bit more, these are all things you can achieve really quickly, and you can habit stack them as well. Put them together so that they become just part of the natural flow of life. Is when people say to me, I've got a program you'll love, and I'm like, no, I won't, because I will never follow it. I know that about myself. If it's a regime, I'll lose the will to live within a few days, and then I'll feel like I haven't done anything, but if I can do a little thing every day that's going to make a difference because it's simple, it's effective, it's proven, then I'm happy to do it.
That's why I love the title that you've created, Pro Aging Promoter, because you're all about not doing a hard sell, not being like, you need to have this, but demonstrating how certain products, certain ways of expanding your bandwidth, making yourself, taking better care of yourselves, can easily be not infiltrated. What's the word? Help me here. I'm having a moment. You probably you can go, Kate, you need this. But be introduced seamlessly into what you're already doing. And as you say, habit stacking, brilliant.
Yeah, because there is so much to do, and if we're held back for whatever reason, is it circumstance, is it a lack of energy, if we don't sleep well, if we hurt, our family relationships challenging, these are all things that you can't change overnight. But if you just chip away at making a change every day, then you've got that bandwidth, that physical bandwidth, that emotional, mental, spiritual bandwidth, that means you can go and do more of what you love. And if you do more of what you love, you're going to be happier, and so is everybody around you is going to be happier too.
No, so true, so true. Here's to being perfectly imperfect. Now, I said, go and grab a mince pie. I'm sure there are some out there, and go and listen to our full-length audio episode that's available wherever you get your podcasts. On the show notes are all Philippa's contact details, and she has her guest profile on the Midlife Unlimited podcast website. But talk us through how viewers can get in touch with you, your website. Over to you, Philippa.
Oh, lovely. Thank you so much. Well, I'm on all the socials at FeelFab Philippa on Instagram, and obviously here on LinkedIn, also on Facebook, and I'm on Linktree. And I think if you can just curious about how you can feel fab naturally, so you can maximize your mojo and get more out of this second chapter of your life, then do get in touch with me, connect, send me a message, and I'd love to have a chat with you.
Absolutely. She's wonderful. Get in touch with this lovely lady. And if you want to get in touch with me, come and find out more about me. Let's connect. Let's join the dots. You can work with me one-to-one. You can come and join more. My favourite word. One of them. Which is my Quitters Revolution. And the doors are now open. It's going to be fabulous. Come over, get in touch, go to the website. Let's talk. Right. Well, International Women's Day. Here's to it. We're all fabulous together every day of the year, but why not have another excuse to celebrate being amazing? Here's to being fabulous and flourishing together and living midlife unlimited. Thanks ever so much, Philippa. You're a joy. Bye.
Thank you. Lovely. Thanks for inviting me.